Bubba Bradley
What's up?
in town, from Indiana, right?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Nashville,
I
Tennessee.
live near Knoxville now, right outside. Yeah.
At that farm, the 19 acres.
Yeah. We got a 19-acre farm
Nice.
just outside of Knoxville. I lived in Nashville for 5 years, man. It's going to hell. So
Really?
yeah, it is.
How so?
I guess my impression of what it was supposed to be, like growing up, country music, it's none of that. It's a watered down LA.
Okay. Yeah.
No country. It's a bunch of hipsters and
Yeah, and I bet during the pandemic, I bet a bunch of people moved there, coming from California. You bring.
Yeah.
But they still wear cowboy boots and cowboy hats, though.
They
right?
do, ironically, yeah. not because they do any kind of work.
But music, how much is coming from Nashville these days?
A lot, but it's all the mainstream candy covered. I guess Austin right now is where like the true country music is coming from. So
The mothership.
right,
Austin
Yeah,
music and comedy.
music. Oh yeah. But Austin music, man, they're legendary. Bob Wells, them guys all came
really?
out of yeah. So it's pretty good. But yeah, it's all watered down, man. I don't know.
Now, how long have you been doing comedy for?
I started in 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
14 years.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Do you want to tell that story? I know you kind of said it on stage. I didn't know how much of a.
Yes. Well, I always, whenever I talk to people, I'm like, here's the thing. Every decision you make in your life can lead you to a crazy place, man, even if it's insignificant, right? I have a culinary degree, and I was looking for jobs with room and board.
You're hired.
That's like the new cook at Cafe Italian.
Yeah, right. Come here. So I was looking for jobs with room and board. I did this in February of 2006, and I forgot all about it, man. 3 months later, I got a call from Yellowstone Park. I joked about it, and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to come out and work?" And I was like, "All right." So to keep it short, went out to Yellowstone, worked for a season. My brother came out with me. He got fired. They kicked us out of the park. So they drove us to Bozeman, Montana. We had $800, and we didn't know what to do. I'm from PA. We're thousands of miles from home. So we got our room for a week with a hotel with the last of our money, and we started housekeeping at that hotel to work there. And there's a bar across the street. I wandered over one day, got a job as a bouncer, and then fast forward 3 years, and Rocky came in to do a show, and they needed somebody to just warm up the crowd. And I was like, I'll do it. And they're like, no, dude. I'm like, honestly. I had my shaved head. They're like, you're not funny. I'm like, oh, I don't know, whatever. They asked everybody else. Nobody would do it. So finally, they're like, you want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. I did it. They loved it. They're like, you want to come on the road? I said, let's go. And I left with them.
Out to California.
No, they were touring through Washington and Idaho at the time.
Okay.
So you went on the road with them with no experience, other than that, like one show, right?
The first time I ever did comedy was that September in 2009. I did 5 minutes, and I had an idea that I wanted to do it, but I never went out and did it. But they saw something. Rocky saw something in me, man, and he took me on the road, and I just kind of opened up for him. And within a couple months, I was featuring. I had a 20-minute
Really?
set. It wasn't
That quick?
great. That quick, man.
But so did you go through a learning phase where you obviously you had to have, where you had to bomb a little bit, but it seems like you kind of like hit the ground running. So did you hit like a wall at all?
I did hit a wall for a while. I didn't bomb. Everyone bombs.
Yeah, everyone's gonna bomb.
But my first shows went great. So I had this idea like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, And even when I was featuring, I probably shouldn't have been. I was okay, but not a great feature. I hit a wall when I got to the point where they told me this. They said, well, like, you're too good to feature. You're not good enough to headline. Nobody wants to work with you at the moment. There's a lot of comics that are like, I don't want this dude coming up. And I was good after I got on a roll. I'm not bragging, but they're like, So a lot of headliners don't want to write material, or they're lazy and they don't want to work with good features that make them look bad, So I was in that point where I couldn't get any work at all. It was weird. So I wasn't ready for headlining, but...
How long were you in that?
Months and months.
Yeah.
Damn. So And it wasn't every comic. I still got work, but I'm saying most guys, and that's what the brokers told me. I don't know if they were feeding me a lot of shit or not. I don't know if we can swear.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want.
It has a 30 seconds on YouTube. As long as you don't swear in the first 30 seconds, we're good.
Good. I think we did all right.
Yeah, I think we did good.
Yeah, so it was weird, man. It was a good experience, though.
Well, it depends on where you cut it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the worst you've ever bombed?
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. No, I really don't.
Is there an area you don't like to do comedy in?
An area?
Yeah, like a location in the country that you rather...
Probably bigger. Well, I don't know. Every place has been pretty cool, but my preferred is like out in the country, smaller towns. You know, I like that. I've done Chicago. I've done Nashville. I've done LA. I don't know. My crowd is like hardworking people, so I'd rather be in front of those guys.
Being a trucker, you're relatable to those people.
Right.
You're used to being on the road.
Yeah.
Different crowds, different people.
Yeah.
When you met Rocky, so I talked to Rocky briefly. Rocky, the owner.
Yeah, should we update on that?
Okay.
He was the headliner last night.
Yes.
Headliner last night at
Pagliacci's Comedy Club, Jeanette, PA.
Rebrand, yeah. This used to be Cafe Italiano.
Part of
Cafe Italiano.
Yeah.
The club is owned by Rocky and Michael Watul.
Yes.
And they're doing a great job.
Yes.
Yeah,
Weekly Saturday shows.
In, and I can see the progression already. You were hilarious.
Yeah,
last
that was
night.
good. That was really good last night.
Yeah, I told Rocky, I'm like, I'm the best one you've ever had, bud. Just so you know, smart ass. No.
Well, okay, so when I talked to Rocky briefly the night, the opening night, which was about, I guess, 15, 16 days ago.
It was August 5th, right? Or 4th?
Yeah.
5th?
So he was telling me about how there was a point in his career where he decided to go clean.
Yeah.
Was that before or after you started touring with him?
It was towards the end when we stopped touring, where he was gonna, because he went. Then I think he did a lot of church stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he was telling me about California. That's what I thought.
So it's kind of like at the end of our transition.
Okay.
But the way he taught me, because he's like, man, he's like, write clean, be smart, He's like, you can get more work clean. He said, you can do dirty if you want, but at least have that clean
ability
set.
to go clean.
Yeah. It's all first timers come out and they talk about BJs and jacking off.
That was a previous comedy.
Yeah.
It was a lot more.
Yeah, so
a lot more.
That's like their go-to when you're brand new. So, but
it's it's kind of like cheap and.
Because you got headliners that they want the tone of their show to go a certain way.
Right.
I don't really care, man, because I've done from churches to biker rallies, so I can do any crowd.
You did good with the crowd last night.
Yeah,
that was a good, feeding off, playing off a couple characters.
Yeah, everyone they told me when I first started out, they're like, man, you just feel like that dude that you'd like to have a beer with. Like everybody knows me, or everyone's like, hey, man, my cousin, you remind me, like that guy. Yeah. So I'll take it, and just relatable, and just boom, get along. So.
I think last night saw some of the biggest belly laughs.
Yeah. It was actually like the whole room was laughing. Like
people
one guy couldn't even stay in his chair.
That one lady was one drink away from
the Jack Daniels did help with that a little bit.
I'm sure.
I wonder if that was my sister. Was it my sister?
Your sister was the one pushed back, right?
She was in the very back row, with all them guys. Yeah.
Is this the first time she's heard you talk about these on stage?
No, she's been to multiple shows, but
and you still have it because those are authentic laughs. She was not. You can tell when somebody's just laughing because they think it's funny. She's anticipating the joke and laughter.
I know she ruined a couple of my jokes.
Yeah,
I heard you yelling at her after the show.
She got so excited. I don't, get mad about it, but she's like, "Oh my God, this is great!" I'm like, timing, boom, knock it down. But no, it was fun. Yeah, it was good. I forgot what the question was that you were asking me.
I think it was.
Or do we go through?
I was asking. I forgot.
I know where I wanted to go. I was gonna say you're about to go out on tour.
Yeah.
Or what is your 5 o'clock?
Yeah, your current status. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have to deliver a load of lumber to Ohio.
He's an over-the-road truck driver. His story. This is what I wanted to ask you.
In our group messages, I thought you were heading out.
Oh no, my next show is in September in Michigan.
Okay.
Your stories are authentic, right?
Yeah.
They're part like that. That's what's crazy because when I think about my life, I don't have as many of these crazy stories, but
the Canada story.
They're just like, how do you get yourself in the situations?
I have no idea, man, why things happen the way they do, but I think it's because I put myself out there a lot, so I'm always meeting people. Growing up, I just wanted to be around everybody, do everything, so I think maybe that's how I got into that. Is that my dog?
That's your dog. She's exploring.
My little road dog, but yeah, so excuse me. It's crazy, man.
Will Peppa go on the road with you?
She's always with me.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. How often are you on the road?
For comedy or trucking?
Both.
Yeah. Well, I started this tour in July out in Nevada.
Okay.
And so for that, man, I've only been home since July 4th once.
Oh, man.
On this run. Usually I try to get home every week. If I have a show weekend, then 2 weeks out. So I could book shows every weekend, but I stagger them because every weekend I'll never be home. So
You'll never have a day off. Yeah,
I got a wife and I got stepchildren. So I try to get home as much. We got that farm. You got to take, how it is. You got to maintain. It doesn't stop, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, how is maintain? Do you have help?
No, not really. Because my wife works a lot. She works at a Rural King, and the youngest doesn't really. He doesn't like. To my wife's credit, she tried to work the zero turn, but it did not go well. I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'll mow and stuff. Because she tried, but yeah, she within 2 minutes she spun it around and hit a pole. So,
so it's like as soon as you get out of that truck, you're busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds because to maintain that much land.
And 24/7. I mean, because really.
Pepper wants in.
We stop. This is not how we conduct ourselves in public.
This is the first time setting. We got pets. We got pets in the studio. We are at the farm. First time
setting.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like trucking, doing comedy, I have an acting career. I have an agency that represents me. So I always audition, and man, I literally don't have 1 minute, to spare really.
How does it go with trying to? I assume that you're timing a lot of your shows with where you're going to need to reset.
Yeah, or to route or to find a load going there. It's tough, man.
So do you organize the comedy around the trucking or the trucking around the comedy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's both. It depends on the show. If
just get them both synced up and whatever works out. Okay.
I try to put trucking first because I'm owning my truck. I got payments to come out every week, and so I try to book shows that are going to put me in good areas where I can get in, park my truck for one, get to the show, and then find a load coming out. So it's crazy.
When did you start doing the trucking?
2019.
Okay.
Pretty much when I got my family. So I was in Nashville when I was living there from 2013 to 2017. And I was in with Zanies in Nashville, which is one of the biggest clubs in the country. I was headlining there. They were putting me. I was doing really well, man. I was coming up. I was in talks with, people about maybe a record or doing a special. And I walked away, man. I was burnt out. I was, 8 years on the road at that point. And I just walked. I bought a house in the country. And
you met the woman you wanted to be with?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, eventually, later on that year. But I bought a house in the country. I remodeled it. I just kind of went completely dark for about 4, 5, 6 months, and I met my wife. And
rest history.
Yeah. So I went into trucking, and then I was doing comedy with that, and I was working for a company at the time, and they were good about getting me where I needed to go. And then COVID hit, and I lost everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every show. I was booked up well into 2021.
Yeah, COVID had to have been really bad on comedians with getting shows. Did you try to do any of the how they were exploring with ideas for shows? Did you do anything?
Or go online or anything like that?
I didn't. I probably should have, but I didn't. I don't feel. For me, I don't like doing a stand-up show over with no one there.
No one there, yeah.
I feed off
all
the
little
energy
people
of
in
the
tiny
people,
boxes.
You know? Yeah, and some people can do that, and that's good, maybe, but it's not. I can't.
I don't know how you would get the timing.
The timing or just the energy. When you're in front of a crowd of people, you have that energy, you know. So, but yeah, to do it, I don't think I could do it. So I never did. I did some stories. I called stories from quarantine. I was doing that. Just all the crazy stuff that happened. A lot of it at Yellowstone, because I worked security. I got a call one night. They're like, there's a bunch of Asian girls, because at the park, people from different countries come and work. A lot of Europe, a lot of Asia, a lot of like Colombia. They come and work for the summer, and then they go back. But they're like, we got a bunch of Asian girls. They keep getting chased by a bear on the employee pathway. They're like, will you go check it out? I'm like, sure, why not? Because we weren't allowed to carry bear spray or anything. They wouldn't even let me have a flashlight, man. So it's like,
no bear spray?
No. They no bear spray, no other. But I'm sorry, they let me have a flashlight. But it was like a 3-battery mag or something. It wasn't like, what am I going to do against this?
What
like,
do they expect a security guard to do?
I don't know.
Without bear spray? Okay.
I don't know. So I go in my van and I go to the employee path, and I'm walking down the path. I'm looking for a bear, I guess. I don't wrestle it when I get it. I don't know. But all of a sudden, I heard something in the woods, and next thing you know, my buddy, who was dressed in a Tigger outfit that he had spray painted black, okay, jumps at him, and he goes, "Rawr!" And I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?"
It's a good thing you didn't have bear spray.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Yeah, that's probably why you weren't allowed to have it.
But I'm like, but you got drunk, and he's like, he wanted to dress up like a bear and scare the hell out of Asian girls, I guess. I don't know. So that was one call, man. It was just crazy. I was not a good security guard at all.
How long were you there?
From May until October of 2006. Yeah. So
it was fun then?
It was great, man. It was because you live in the park. First, I worked at Old Faithful as a cook, and I hated it because that's they went out there to cook, and they put me in a fast food restaurant, which is fine, but it wasn't for me because I just got out of culinary trained. I wanted to work at they had a really great restaurant, we're talking top of the line, and I wanted to work there, so I didn't. Then I started getting drunk a lot with all the Colombians, and we were up one night until 3 a.m, and we woke up like everyone around us, and because you live in dorms, so my dorm at first I worked at Old Faithful, so my dorm was right here, Old Faithful was right here, so it was in my backyard, man. So I mean, just cool, bison coming up to your window every morning, and so on that one, they kicked me out of Old Faithful, and then they gave me a security job at another location called Lake, and then that's what I worked. So I don't know why I got mad at somebody for getting hammered and being up till 3 a.m. You'd make a good security guard. You seem like you got your shit together, man. Right?
So
I worked at my cousin and I worked at a parks department in high school, and we were so bad when we were together that as children, our school district implemented an unofficial rule that we were not allowed to have any class together for any reason ever. And we worked at the parks department for a year before the parks department implemented this same rule that we could not work in the same location. But then it didn't really help, and we still found ways, when they had to do festivals or whatever. So they eventually created a new position for us. So it was the same thing. We were so bad at the regular jobs that they created a new position within the parks department and transferred us to juvie. And made us go around scrubbing the walls. That lasted a week before he broke an ankle.
Tucker broke his ankle on coffee.
Oh my God.
But anyway, when were you in Yellowstone?
2006.
Okay, so that's after they did the wolf thing.
Oh, when they reintroduced them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw a pack of wolves attack a grizzly in Hayden Valley. It was crazy. There was a grizzly on an elk carcass, and we were watching the grizzly, and then there was some rolling hills above, and we all of a sudden we saw pop, pop, pop. 4 wolves popped up on the hill.
Wow.
And all in separate directions. Then they all disappeared, and then 10 minutes later, they all came charging in from different directions at the bear, chased him off the elk, and then took it. I was like, that was crazy, man. Yeah,
that'd be cool to see.
Have you ever seen a wolf? They're huge, man. They're like, we're talking like.
I've not seen one in person.
Yeah,
I've not seen one in person.
So, wait, what's your vantage point on this again? Where are you?
We're on the road watching, because you drive through, so they have these different valleys, and they have pull-offs, so you can like stop and check out. So we're just on the road watching. It's not that far away from us, but it's still a good distance, because people are dumb out there with bears, man. I joked about it last night. They asked me, what time do you let the animals out? Like, they think it's a zoo. It's like, no, man. That's why all these people get gored by bison every year. They're idiots. We don't need them. I don't think we should save them. That's just me personally. They just make more idiots, you know? But that's crazy. There was one point where I had a grizzly run within 5 feet of me. And I was getting off work. I worked third shift of security, and I was walking back to my dorm, and there was a 2-year-old like sow grizzly bear. She was just in the field, pretty close to the employee dorms, and so I had to call the rangers, and the rangers come and they haze them with shotguns and bean bags. You know, they try to scare them from people, because there's already a crowd starting to gather around her. You know, and so they're like, hey, will you go up and block off the employee path? And I'm like, okay, so there's a path and there's a road to get up. So I was standing on the road, make sure nobody came down. They're like, she's not coming your way, but just in case. I said, fine. So I heard one shot, and then I don't know what happened because I was too far to see, but I heard another shot, and then they're like, watch out! And then that bear just come barreling straight towards me, man. Like, I'm like full tilt, and I was just like, I froze, man. I couldn't. You're not supposed to run, but I couldn't if I wanted to, dude. Yeah,
just froze.
I peed a little for sure. She ran right. She didn't want nothing to do with me, but I didn't know it at the time. But she ran right beside me and then just took off, man. I was just like, wow. Oh, it scared me.
I'd have peed myself a little bit.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, here she comes. just what do you do? You're not outrunning a bear, not at 30 miles an hour.
No chance.
I'm not outrunning a damn.
Probably freezing might have been better than running.
But they have everyone. Yeah. There's different, because they're like, you see a bear, you should play dead. Well, you got to know the situation, man. Because if a bear is being territorial, play dead. But if a bear is interested you in food.
You just made yourself easy.
Yeah, don't play dead.
That's
they're going to unalive you real quick. So you just got to know what you're in for. Usually black bears, I think, are the ones you got to really watch out for, man, because they attack a lot more people than grizzlies.
So that reminds me of a
you petted the bear.
This also reminds. Okay, I'm not as big of an idiot as it may seem.
Yeah, we were dumb.
It's kind of
This is like freshman year of college.
Oh, God.
This is like so.
No, it was before college. I think that was the high school trip. It could have been.
Anyway, senior. Yeah.
We went on a backpacking trip in the on the Appalachian Trail in the Great Smoky Mountains. I drug him along, and at this point,
I'm not a camper.
We basically met. He's not a camper even now.
I can't camp like in a cabin,
right?
But I'm not much of like a tent camper.
I got you.
That's just
also
I agree with you on that. There's no reason to go live homeless.
No, I love tent camping. Tent camping done well. Tent camping has come a long way. If you have the right gear, it's very comfortable.
You like backpack.
But listen. So. Also, I don't know why it matters, but it does. He had vitiligo, the thing Michael Jackson had, so he had no pigment at this point.
He's reversed this.
He's reversed left. He has gone on a mission to reverse that.
See how the palm of his hand is?
Yeah.
That's how he was everywhere. Like,
he's done,
it's amazing.
So, but at the time, it's like full-blown vitiligo.
90 degrees.
And if anything, he's almost like rebelling against that, so acting black and very, very into rap and just...
Rocco. That was
Rocco. Rocco.
But he just the way he dressed everything looks totally out of place on this camping trip. But we're driving through.
I had like a Benjamin Franklin with a bandana around his face, like green
shirt. The one day we got in a fight because he didn't want to be there anymore. And
3 days. We were stranded in the wood for 3 days.
No, we weren't stranded. We went on a camping. That's called camping.
We go to the top of the mountain. It's like it's going to take an hour to get there. It takes 4 hours. It's getting dark. Like we just get to the top. We're going to be able to get water. There was no rain. There was just no water at the top of the mountain.
No, there was.
We were drinking mud out of the ground.
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
You can tell which one of us live in town.
No, but so I walk away from him because I just didn't want to put up with his bullshit anymore. But on this day, this is like the final day. We left early, and he's red shoes, red gym shorts, and a red shirt, and maybe a red hat, but just all red. He's stumbling out of the woods, looking so out of place,
staggering. And
we're walking down a one-way road, and I see a park ranger drive by, and I didn't think anything of it. But then I'm like, that guy's never going to let Greg. Yeah, he's going to give Greg a hard time.
I was like marching ahead because I was like determined to get out.
No, you were behind. I turned around and came back for you.
I guess no, it's okay. Okay.
Anyway, that's not the bear thing. Is we were driving through Cades Cove, and again, I'm not normally an idiot, but these 3 baby bears come walking out, no mom in sight, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to take a picture.
Like how the cars are like in a line.
Oh. Like so everyone's just slowly
going. Yeah, it's like they were like crossing something's coming. Yeah.
We were in the front because I stop and I jump out of the. I just opened the car to take the car door to take a picture, but they thought I looked interesting, so the 3 babies came walking at me.
So just the worst situation you could be in with a bear, like literally the worst.
Yeah, exactly, the absolute worst. And I'm looking around, I don't see the mom. I'm thinking, okay, we're cool, and I just freeze. And I'm like, and Greg's in the car. I was just freaking out.
I'm videoing. I was taking a picture. I was like trying to get like. He ended up.
He was visualizing your death.
No, that's his hands near the bear's head.
No. Well, no. It came up. I touched the bear. Yeah. I shouldn't have touched the bear. Well, it touched me. I touched the bear. I allowed it to approach. I took all these pictures.
That bear touched me. I didn't.
I got all these great pictures of it though, and this shithead. My phone was dead, so I took them all on his phone. He came back and showed everybody like it was him.
There's a bunch of people that are just finding this out now. Yeah,
but your mom.
I did not touch the bear.
The credit for it.
I do on my phone. I was like,
I touched the bear.
The bear, yeah.
Or the bear touched me. That's my story.
Actually, the bear molested Greg. That's actually
that is definitely what happened. That explains something.
You're the reason they need that sign in Yellowstone.
Do not molest the bear.
That's right. Do not molest the animals. Leave them alone. But it's tempting. I'd touch a bear, man. I don't know. They're dumb up there, though, man. I had to stop a dude from putting his kid on a bison to take a picture.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, there's a 2,000-pound bull laying down, and it was an Asian dude. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe it does. I don't know. But he had his kid, and I watched him, and he's looking at it, and then he hands. He had his camera. I'm sorry. He hands the camera to his wife, takes the kid, and then starts walking towards the bison. And I was like, he's not. And I couldn't even say anything at the moment. And then he gets closer, and then he's getting ready. I'm like, hey, I just yelled as loud as I could. And he looked at me, and I'm like, no. And like, I don't know. No, don't do that. And I'm like, get over here. And I tried to. He didn't really speak English well.
Oh, no.
Tried to explain to him, don't do that. She'll die. But
this is how we lost Harambe.
Yeah.
Did he do it?
No. Okay. No, he didn't. I caught him before. Okay. Oh man, it's a kid, so I don't want to see a kid get hurt. If it was an adult, I'd be like, you know what? Go for it.
Yeah. You gotta let adults just
do their thing. Yeah, if you're an adult and you're doing dumb shit, well, like I said, we don't need you. You're just gonna make more dumb people, and we have too many.
I was even getting nervous. I took my son to the fair yesterday, and they have all the pigs and the cows and stuff. I was even nervous just having him close. He's like 1 year old.
Oh,
not like if they would like bite him or something.
We never know. A pig,
but then I'd put him on
mess you up if he bites
you. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
like they seem a little
pigs
aggressive.
Pigs are nasty, dude. They can get especially a boar. They got mess you up, man.
Yeah, of all the animals we've had, I think the kids and us, we've been more afraid of the pigs than.
Yeah.
Even a cow, if it wants to tear you apart, stomp you or kick you.
Right.
But they're pretty docile. We've gotten chased by them a few times, but
some of the cows those guys have up there are huge.
The Holsteins.
Holsteins are big, man.
Are massive.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The fair right now. Our local fair is going on, so all the farmers have their animals out for show.
Yeah. I love a good fair. Are you guys all from around here?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, Greensburg. I'm Hempfield.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You're like Hempfield, right?
Well,
that's
what
I was asking. Just Western PA.
Yeah. I got to claim Northwestern, but we're up there.
I think Alec would probably claim Northwestern, even though he's from here. But He loves the claim Erie.
It was funny though, because I grew up country in a small town, and whenever I went out to Montana, they're like, "You're kind of a redneck, right?" I'm like, "I guess." I'm from the country. Like, "You're from Pennsylvania." They like, "You just know country in Pennsylvania." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "You just think it's Pittsburgh?"
They thought they did,
yeah. And I'm like, "No, there's like mostly country in PA, dude. They're all good old school people, man."
That is true.
Even Pittsburgh is like a blue collar town.
Yeah.
I don't know about anymore. Everything's changed, and it's probably
It's tech now.
Yeah.
Is it?
Tech's becoming a new big
a bunch
sector.
of liberal douchebags in it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's changed. It's like you got LA and New York,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh and Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and then the Midwest in between.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
A little Happy Valley in the middle.
So should we give an update on the diner? Our fans are begging for it. And you were just there yesterday, so you probably will have some input.
I was just there this morning.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about him. He just experienced this for the first time.
Well, he met Chris.
I was going to
saw
say,
Chris.
your impression of Chris, you go ahead.
He's the chef.
You can say anything you want here. He does not listen to this podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, it don't matter either way. My interesting is, I guess, my first thought. Like, okay, I didn't know who because he came and he got me. And he's like, "Hey, can you come back here and talk to me for a minute?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I didn't know who was running anything. I didn't know if he was like one of the guys. He was wearing. I knew he was the cook. Obviously,
he had the logo on the back.
Yeah, he had the logo. He was wearing a chef's coat, and I was like, "Okay, so I'll follow you." And then he started talking to me, and I'm like, "This dude's hammered." I'm like, "Am I not getting it right, or is he hammered?" But
no, you're getting it right, but he also sounds like that.
No,
more or less all the time.
In the morning, there's no time of the day.
Get Rocky to do his impression.
It's really,
it's really good. He did good one on stage.
So my very first impression of him was this. I call him what I call, he's a good guy, but. He's a good guy, but there's a lot of those people, right?
Yeah.
He seemed like he's a decent dude. He just has a lot of issues, and he's got to work through them. And when he's probably sober, he's probably not a bad dude. So there's a lot of them people. He's a good guy, but yeah. So
and that's the thing. He doesn't miss a shift.
Right.
He'll show up.
Right.
But he'll show up. Sometimes it's like,
is it better that you're here?
Well, did you pick up on the thing? He lives upstairs.
Oh, that I didn't know.
That kitchen is his kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, his literal kitchen.
Where he has to come
kitchen on the top stairs floor. The deal that Alec, the owner, made with him was he pays his monthly, it comes out of his check, and he uses the downstairs kitchen.
Oh my
like it's
God.
his own.
Yeah.
You'd have to cut me out of that apartment, bro. That was me. Like, I lived above a kitchen grade.
Alex hit this has been a year. This is going on this.
Yeah, if you love to cook, that is a clutch setup.
That's what I'm saying,
you have a legit kitchen to use.
If I was a restaurant grade kitchen below me, dude, you'd have to cut me out of that fucking thing.
So before I think before, at least before I saw him with you, I don't know if you know this, but Michael had just kicked him out.
Well, I met him before that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you sound like you're describing when he was still like cooking, trying to present himself as like, I'm the chef that's making the food.
And then it was right before we were ready to go on when he said that, because he was talking about his mom and he was excited to see the show, and I'm like, cool, man. And then he's like, man, I just got kicked out. I guess I don't know why I got. I'm like, oh, I don't. I thought he maybe thought that I did it, and I'm like, I don't care, dude. I knew you talked through the show though, for sure.
That's our issue with him is he comes into the show.
He can be part of the act.
Right.
If you're a bold comedian, you want to let him interact with him.
That was the only when Paige was on stage. Her best jokes were when she just started making fun of.
Because the locals, everyone knows him.
She was doing a lot of the sexual jokes, and it's an older crowd.
Right.
So when she would go out, Chris, the chef, those were
battle of wits.
Real
battle of wits.
Sometimes it works. Yeah. Sometimes they step all over your show.
Exactly.
I mean,
no, that's the typical situation that happens.
So
that's why we have to keep him out.
Rocky and Matt, they want nothing to do with.
Because there's guys that do crowd work, and Matt Ripe is really ruining that for everybody. Because it's a skill. He's good at it, and but. Maybe he does more. I don't know. I really don't know much into him.
Matt Rife?
He's the one all the girls are drooling over.
Yeah,
right
he's like the new age Dane Cook. Yeah. He's all good looking and buff and.
Not heard of him.
He's blowing up. Man, he's doing a little tour.
Huge.
But all of his videos are crowd work. I don't know. Maybe I never listened to him.
So I think they just use the crowd work for promoting themselves because it's unique, and then that way that saves your jokes for when the crowd's in front of you.
Yeah.
So. Were you saying that's a problem because it's like encouraging the crowd almost?
Well, you do, and if you don't know how to handle it, right? Or I'm a storytelling comic, so I can work with the crowd. I have no problem interacting, but for me to have like a good show, there's a flow, you know what I mean? And my stories are timing, and there's parts where I emphasize what I'm saying, and, you know, just all that is very intricate. And if you get if I had an opener who's like, I'm going to be Matt Ripe and do crowd work the whole time, then you get them rowdy, and they expect to be a part of the show. It just, so.
Right.
I never even thought about that.
And when you're doing BYOB.
Right. Well, yeah. When you're,
I
saw
it's get out of control.
Yeah, when bottles of liquor are going down like crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it can be problematic, and then comics think they want to do it, and you got to be good, man. You got to be quick. You got to be on.
You got to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Like,
the crowd
that seems totally different though than if you're telling a story. You planned out how you wanted to transition from point to point to point.
Did you pick your feature last night?
I did not.
Okay.
He was good though.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he was good too.
I'm gonna do a show in St. Mary's. I'm going to bring him up and have him open for me.
Yeah, he did good.
He's funny.
You're doing a show in St. Mary's?
I will be in November, maybe. I'm not. We're working on it. Probably at the Dam Inn.
Okay.
Dam Inn. I always go up and do benefits up there. It's my hometown, so I need a fundraiser or something. I'll go.
Shout out Straw.
Yeah, Straw Beer, man. I was so stoked when I saw that. I'm like, oh my God. I love this shit. I don't know why I do.
Me too.
It's good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just there was the only. This is when I said that, like, basically family had the camp up in Emporium. This is it was his grandfather, and the only thing that was in that fridge was straw. We on the way to camp, we stopped and got it. But yeah, so it's nostalgia, and I mean, I think it's a good lager.
It's a good lager, yeah. So Straub, hometown boy.
Yeah.
He's looking for a plug.
You mean the face of the brand.
Yeah,
you mean the face of the brand.
Bubba and Straub, man.
Peter Straub presents.
I love it, though. I probably shouldn't say that I was buying beer there since I was 16. I looked older.
I really like how the Eternal Tap has no, like, when at least for a while, I don't know now, but for a while, there's just people working in the brewery, and you would just go up, and it wasn't like anyone checked you. They just you're just like, you just pour one. And my grandfather all the time, he'd be all liquored up. He's like, I can't go in there. You need to go get me a beer. I was like,
hey, yeah,
okay. So I go in and pour. He's like, there's too much head on this one.
We're close enough to camp. I can start.
That's what we do when we wanted to get drunk and we didn't have money. We're like, let's go take a brewery tour and. Yeah, you can go in there and drink. They leave you on. I'm just going to leave a bunch of alcoholics unsupervised with a literal eternal tap of beer that never runs out ever in the history of ever.
Well, they used to leave it open way longer. We were on our way back. It was a weekend in the middle of the day. And I was walking up the stairs to go in. And the lady was like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm going to the Eternal Tap. And she said, you can't do that. And I said, what do you mean? Like, did you close the Eternal Tap? And she was like, kind of. It's a weekend. And I was like, what do you mean it's a weekend? It's the Eternal Tap. And it was dead middle of the day. I told you it was 5, but I was talking to my wife. We were on our way back. We had to check out of the place we were staying at 11, so it would have been maybe 12 closed. So Peter Straub and whoever else is running the show,
bring it together.
Yeah, bring it back.
Before I continue the cafe story.
Yeah.
When you go about writing your jokes, what is your style?
I did want to ask that, your process.
Man, it's probably really bad, to be honest with you. I've never written a joke down in my life.
Oh, really?
I never, not once. And
you just have it all just memorized.
Not even recorded it,
nope,
voice memo?
Nothing. Well, now I do. When I first started, I didn't. I would write I wrote everything on stage, every joke on stage. I still do. I can't write. I'm backwards on it. I can't write out. My memory is really good, so I can remember everything. So that's not a problem. But yeah, I work them out on stage, man. So
each show, do you do different jokes? Do you have some that you keep and then some that you see? I'm going to test this one.
I do, yeah. So I probably have 2 hours or more of material, so I can. If I would have done 2 shows tonight, you would have heard a lot.
You would have done a different show for the second.
Yeah, I always tell comics, they're like, well, how do you style your show? I said, well, like a sandwich, okay? So your bottom piece of bread and top piece of bread. Bottom piece of bread is the start of the show. That's one joke that I usually start the show with. Mm-hmm. It's always the same. Now, whatever you put in the middle can be different. And then I always have a joke that I close with my bottom piece of bread. So that's my sandwich. So that's the only structure I really have. So
yeah, because you want to hit when you on your way out, because that's what people are really going to remember.
Right. Yeah.
And you like picking the top things. It's like feeling back from the audience. Okay, they like this joke,
kind of where
this
we're going.
one. Okay, I'm gonna keep.
I like to roll with it. Everything's organic, so I don't have like even if it's the same show, it's never the same. Because it's always.
It's like what you want to say in that moment.
Yeah, the ebb and flow. Yeah. So that's my favorite style.
What did you close with? Was it the water slide?
The water slide. That's what I closed with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was great.
Because that whole what I learned on the road and the water slide, it's like a crescendo because there's a lot of callbacks.
Right.
And then if the audience is in it, they hear that, and it's like, oh, that's a thing, and then boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So, that's how I like to do it. It's fun.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. But I'm very, very. I think I'm different as far as most comics. The way I do it, I should be writing and.
There are some people that's how you memorize things.
Listen. Yeah. For as long as you've been doing stand-up comedy, I have been writing jokes.
Right.
Right. So you're the one with the career, and I'm the one with the notebook.
That's very true. That's a good
doing it is the important.
That's a good point.
Yeah, getting out and doing it. Yeah, Ron White said that too. He's like, you want to be a comic, just go be a comic. So try it, man. See.
It's easy to write the jokes, but to actually get up and say them, that's more.
And I think what a lot of people don't appreciate enough about stand-up is like the art of the performance and the rhythm, and because that's
you can tell the difference between you and the feature.
Right.
On that, you have that rhythm, the transition from joke to joke. When to pause.
Right.
A little more mic control.
Yeah, just presence. You find your that all comes with it, man. When you find your voice and
it feels like it would be tough. I think you have to do that for a while to feel confident to be able to go as long.
The thing with most comics, and even Andreas, I don't know how long he's been doing it. I would say he's newer because he did the that's a big thing the new guys say, which is fine. It's just in your brain you're trying to fill. You're filling silence, and that's the hardest thing to get over.
You kind of want to leave the silence, right?
Right. I mean, well, you don't want to be afraid of it. So most new comics are afraid of the the quiet, and you can't be. I'll have points where I'll just stop and I won't say a word and I'll just look at them, on some shows, and I just want to see if I have them, because I did my first show where nobody laughed. I wanted to go outside and cut my wrist. I think I was I was down. I'm like, oh my! But everyone came up to me after the show, and they're like, that was a great show, and I'm like, why didn't you laugh? I need to know. But everyone loved the show, and then Rocky, he's like, what are you bummed about, man? I said, dude, nobody laughed. He's like, but. I said, okay, what? Because he was always giving me a little, he's like my Yoda, or Obi-Wan in comedy. He's like, here's the thing, man. He said, they weren't laughing, but he said they were quiet. He said, that's all you need to know. If they're quiet, you got them. If they're talking, you don't. I mean, so don't fear the silence, but new guys fear it.
They're listening.
Yeah, they don't want to ever stop talking. Yeah. They don't want to ever, they want to keep going. So.
In some crowds, I could see, if it's easier to laugh when other people are laughing. If other people are just kind of following along, they're into it, but they're not.
Yeah.
Who's the comedian? There's a comedian that's famous for getting up on stage and not talking for as long as he could possibly keep it going before starting the set. I can't think of who it is now.
I have no idea.
Kill Tony had a guy go on and do his minute like that. He's just a funny looking dude, and he stared at the crowd, and he killed.
See, LA's funny for that, or I don't know where these comics come from, but so you got your LA and your New York comics, right? They work on a 2-minute, 3-minute set, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, no more than usually 10 minutes, but it's always short. And they have the best 10 minutes you'll ever hear because it's so honed. And so I knew a guy, Rocky took me to LA, and I got to be friends with him. He was hilarious. I heard his set, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how long you been doing it? He said 12 years or something. And I was like, damn. I'm like, well, I was, he was just doing open mics, and I'm like, well, I headline, man. I said, why don't you come and feature with me? And he's like, I only got 10 minutes, bro. And I'm like, what? So they don't work on anything else,
They just worked on that.
Yeah, they work on, because they want to get that TV, or at least when TV was more of a, and even in 2009, 10, and 11, you still want to the late night show and all that. That's all wildly changed now, But yeah, so they just worked on that tight, boom, and it was amazing to me because I'd been doing it for maybe 2 years at that point. And I already had 40 minutes, so I probably had 20 solid minutes, 40 minutes altogether. So
that's cool though.
Yeah.
Man, is it,
late night comedy.
Yeah.
We could talk about that for a while. I don't know when it's going to come back.
I don't know if it will.
They need the writers.
But if Colbert doesn't write his own jokes,
That's what makes.
why do we call him his digits? Like we have his body. He's contorted himself and acted everything out. We can just AI him.
We could.
We don't need Stephen Colbert to get up and act out a role. He does a live show of.
I don't know why we call them comedians if
They're not,
they don't even write their own jokes.
No.
Yeah, they really don't. I know a lot of guys that I met that wrote for like Leno. They wrote for the Comedy Central roast. They wrote for all them guys.
SNL.
But these guys, Colbert and Kimmel and all they are now are shills.
Seth Meyers.
Yeah, they're too political now.
Trevor Noah.
They need to just be not political and just do. And being political is fine, but if you're an entertainment host, I feel if you're doing a late night show, you want to appeal to everybody. Mm-hmm. Why are you going to single out half the country right away?
You think back to Johnny Carson.
Yeah, he was
both sides.
Right down
it's like
the line,
if you George Carlin, he wasn't going and advocating any party.
No.
It's all rigged. Like
George Carlin hated everybody.
Yeah, it was like
yeah.
There are two sides, and you're not on either
Yeah,
one of them.
that's right.
You're not a part of it.
So I miss that, man. I mean, I have my views obviously politically, but I don't bring them on stage too much, and I really can't because I'm on the wrong side of it in the entertainment industry.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
That was something Greg noticed last night is that politics didn't get brought up at all. The previous two shows, there was a little bit of a lot of Biden. It's easy to make fun of him.
Rocky at the end had a good 15 minutes where he got a little political.
Yeah, he did.
And it's like,
oh really? I didn't even Rocky was getting political?
Just a little bit.
Well,
it
was like a family show.
Yeah.
It
was second show, and it was mostly family and friends for that one because they had sold out the first one, so family and friends weren't allowed. They were like, you guys gotta go to second show.
Man, so you had a little fun.
So he was riffing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to doing political comedy, but for me, the guys that do it know it inside and out, right? Mm-hmm. I know, I stay up to date. I like to be current. I don't know enough that if I was going to get into an argument with somebody that really knew their shit, that I could hold my own, and I don't want to look like an asshole.
True.
So I leave it out.
And you get you get a heckler in that kind of situation.
Yeah. So, but I'm not like crazy on any. I'm more a constitutionalist, man. I just want to be free. I want less government and leave us alone.
It's my kind of guy.
The lockdown. So to go back to that in 2019, what do you do with comedy? You decide you're not going to go on the internet. There's 4 or 5 months where there's just no live shows.
Nothing.
That summer they start doing some outside ones, and comedy was actually one of the first public events that started having people. You just got to go outside and do it in a park. Go do it out in places in Vegas.
Right.
How did you get back into the scene?
I didn't do comedy for probably 2 years.
Wow. So
I put myself in a driving truck and I enjoy it, man. I love.
Yeah, you have your family.
Yeah.
You got that locked in. You got your property.
Yeah, I was building up on the property, remodeling the house. I was living my best. I needed a break.
How was truck driving during the pandemic?
Great.
Yeah, as I say, you're on the road.
I loved it. Yeah.
You don't wear a mask while you're.
They wanted me to, but I told them to fuck off.
Enforce that.
Yeah, I'm like, no. I'm not playing your game, dude. It's like.
Wait, they wanted you to in the truck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, they said you should. My
I'm
company
sure truck
didn't
stops.
care, but yeah,
They're
truck
probably,
stops and everything else.
You don't want to give Pepper COVID.
No. Yeah, right?
Dog got a mask in the passenger seat.
So when COVID hit, because I'm a hypochondriac for sure, right? So, and I'm overweight, obviously. So they said that, oh my God, you're gonna die if you're fat. And other than that, I'm perfectly healthy. I have no blood pressure, no diabetes, nothing. I have no. If a comorbidity, I guess, is being fat, then I have that, but that's it. And but when it first came out, I was terrified, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, we're gonna die. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, after I heard back and forth, I'm like, all right, this is bullshit. I'm like, I'm done. And then I went on, and then I didn't get it until the end of 2021 in November. My wife had to go get vaxxed for work. So I told her, I'm like, she's like, what do I do? I said, it's up to you. I said, I already told my job if they wanted to give me the shot, I'm done. Because they said, you're gonna mandate the vax. I said, well, you can.
The Canadian trucker strike.
Yeah,
that was one of the best it's untalked about. That was a successful protest that actually, they got their money seized and a whole bunch of civil rights violated.
God dang. Yeah, so, but my wife got the first shot, and then a week later got COVID. And then I was like, really? Because we went through the whole thing. She worked every day. and Tennessee was a hot spot there for a minute, right? And I was in every hot spot when I was in New Jersey when it was like getting real bad. Like
you're super spreading. You're going up and
down. I was in Texas when it was blowing up. I was in Louisiana when it was blowing up. Never got it. She got the shot.
He's contributed to the spotted lanternfly epidemic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The truck drivers were supposed to be checking those trucks.
I hate those things. That's so
they
apocalyptic.
were checking the brakes.
They look like such a little locusts. They're red and black. They're killing all the trees.
Yeah.
If you see any of them, kill them. Right? That's not an environment like.
My favorite COVID story.
There'll be 20 more next year.
Coworker who went back for Chinese New Year, right around the time in Wuhan, specifically, right as it was about to blow up, and then we're like, okay, well, we don't know if we're gonna see this guy like ever, and then like who knows, and then all of a sudden we start getting these like weird Slack messages like, hey guys, I made it to Vancouver. Trying to find my way across the border. And we're like, and then at some point we had to go to management. We're like, and this was even before like the United States had locked down and all this other stuff. We're like, hey, do you guys want to tell him to not come back? But then by the time he had like made it back into the States, then we locked down, and it was just like the weird. I just remember like every day it's like, hey, so where is he? It's like, they wouldn't let him through in Vancouver, so now he's trying to go to Saskatchewan.
Oh my God,
it was a wild time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as far as driving truck goes too, I mean, the bad were all the restaurants shut down, so you can't. It's hard to get food.
Yeah.
A lot of places shut their showers down, which is I want a shower, dude. Because I do flatbed, so I call everyone else a door swinger. Because we actually work, you actually
have to strap down the loads.
Yeah, we're strapping, chaining, we're tarping, man. We're hustling. No steering wheel holder. So, I mean, I work steady. So, that part sucked. But the traffic, oh my God, I want to come back to that.
Yeah.
I just remember I was in Atlanta. I was on I-285, I think, which is the roundabout to Atlanta. Yeah. At 5:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. And there was 3 other cars on the road.
Ooh.
I was loving it, dude.
Atlanta at that
Atlanta, you're done.
Yeah.
Pretty much all day, every day.
Yeah, but at that time.
But I was one of 3 people on the road, rush hour in Atlanta.
That's
like, this is great. I could do that. I could do that every day. Yeah, so I like that part.
But your wife in Nashville was forced to get the jab.
Yeah, in Tennessee, right outside. We live in a town called Sweetwater, so we're outside Knoxville. But yeah, they made her. She got one, and that was it. Then she got it on a Sunday. She got tested, so I'm like, I'm leaving. I didn't have to leave until Monday, but I'm like, I'm out of here, because I'm like, I don't want to get it.
Yeah.
So I left, and then I delivered a load Monday, and then Tuesday morning I woke up and I was like, I don't feel good, man.
Yeah.
And then that night I was rough. I was like shaking and I sweat through everything. That one night was really bad. I went to the doctor, like, yeah, I got a test, you're positive. I'm like, all right. And then that was it, man. I felt better after that. I had a cough for a couple of days, but then I didn't lose my sense of smell until the next week.
Right. Yeah.
How long did that last for?
For me, it was like 4 or 5 days.
Okay. I knew a couple people that it lasted longer.
But it was a full week
like
after I got. But I was in my truck. It was the following Monday, and I was eating something, and I'm like, I couldn't taste. I'm like, oh my! It was weird, man.
It was really weird.
I've never got it. I've heard people describe it. I can't imagine eating and not tasting.
It's weird, or smelling anything.
Was it everything, or was there some things?
I couldn't taste nothing.
Yeah, for me it was
completely
everything.
nothing.
So I've tested positive for COVID, but I didn't have any of the symptoms or
really?
anything.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think I might have got a little bit sick.
Oh, okay.
But I forget what it was. I think. I had to test too a bunch of times for traveling.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Is Sweetwater near where Bonnaroo is?
No, Bonnaroo is up near, like, below Nashville or west of Nashville.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Why have I been in Sweetwater?
Within like an hour of Nashville. I live about 3 hours away.
Okay.
From Nashville, southeast.
Okay, wait. So, Knoxville's the first thing you hit if you're coming in from the top, like the northeast. You hit Knoxville. Well,
if you're coming in like from Virginia, you're gonna hit Bristol,
Well, Bristol, but then Knoxville.
The first big city is going to be Knoxville. Yeah.
And then going down from there.
Knoxville, then you got the next big one's Chattanooga.
Yeah. So I'm
in between Knoxville and Chattanooga on 75.
Sweetwater, the big dairy farm.
Yeah, there's a big dairy farm there, yeah.
Yeah, the
cheese
robots.
farm. Yeah. How do you know about that? That's crazy.
I knew Sweetwater. We have family in Alabama.
Okay.
And so we drive. That's why I know Atlanta. Yeah. We go down there a lot. We're going to go
the farm's actually in Philadelphia, but it's the Sweetwater. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Well,
Philadelphia, Tennessee.
We stopped and they were closed, and they had just done a transition over to like a full robotic milking system. Like no people involved at all. And we stopped to get ice cream, but I think they just closed or something. And we only had one kid at the time, and we just were getting her out to like stretch and whatnot. And I walked over and was looking, and the owner of the place came over because I walked past the sign that said "Don't go past the sign," and I was like, "Well, there's no one around." But he was real nice about it.
You are that guy.
Yeah, he gave us a whole tour of the whole place.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really nice.
They got really good stuff, man. We get to go into the shop.
I've been back. Yeah, the cheeses are good.
Great,
they got like the cheese curds.
That's 3 miles from my house.
Really?
Yeah, because it's out in the country. I live right down that road.
We drive through there all the time, and like the little. What's that little park called where the ducks?
It was called the Duck Park.
The Duck Park,
yeah. Yeah, right there they have the gazebo.
Yeah.
They have an outside stage, and I was thinking maybe I should do a show there.
We picnic on the outside stage.
Okay, yeah. That's funny, man. Who knew?
Yeah.
A little tiny town. It's a beautiful little town, man.
It is.
I love it,
They got a nice coffee shop there.
Yeah, nothing big. We got the Walmart. I like it, though. Yeah. It's funny because you got Tennessee is like this giant red state. Then you got Blue Nashville messes everything up for it, but the rest of the state is awesome, dude. That's
what happens to like our state.
Yeah.
There's 3 dots that ruin it for all of us.
Major cities.
I think Tennessee, they do good. But yeah, it's a beautiful little town, man. I love it. Plus, I'm pretty central. I can get anywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I moved to Nashville in the first place. Because Rocky's like, you need to move to LA.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, you don't seem to have the LA vibes.
I don't. I can't. I don't do well.
You could do Austin probably.
Maybe, but even there too.
It's a little liberal there.
Yeah, too. And I don't mind. I'm a live and let live guy. Liberals want to tell you what to do. I don't like it.
You don't want to be in the city.
No, I don't. I can't.
No.
I can't handle it.
Go tour in the city. You can go do a show there.
I'll go visit. Yeah. But I got no desire, man. Everything's getting so crazy. Crime is. I was in Alabama, Birmingham, at a truck stop. I had to get up at 4 a.m. to leave out. So I got up and all hell was breaking loose. There was a dude running around the parking lot with an AK-47. Guys were smashing in truck windows and stealing shit. And I'm like, what? And the next thing you know, like 5 cop cars come flying in the truck stop. And I'm like, what is happening, dude? Yeah. And then I went and asked everybody, and they told me what was going on. And I'm like, wow, okay. And then a week later, I had all my stuff stolen in Birmingham. Everything off my truck, my tarps, my chains. They didn't leave a thing on there. Yeah, so I was like, I'm never coming back here again, man. No.
Yeah, I would avoid that place.
Yeah, and it got stolen on my company's property, which I was like, really? Because my truck broke down, so I had to get it fixed. I dropped my trailer in their yard, and no one said anything to me. And then I looked over I had a load of shingles, and one of my straps was flapping, and I'm like, well, that ain't good. So I went up and checked it out, and they cut my straps, take my ladder, my tarps, and everything, dude.
Were you reimbursed?
The company did, yeah, thankfully. They gave me all brand new stuff, but because I pay for it all.
That's what I was going to say.
And I called the cops, and so the cop came. I should have known. He handed me a paper that had all of our equipment on it. He's like, show me where they hurt you. And I was like, oh, my God, dude. I'm like, this happens enough? He's like, I'm up here once a week. They had a list of our equipment. The police did. They're like, here, just mark down what they took. I'm like,
wow.
Maybe do something about that, dude. But we don't care. We just let people do what they want to do. That bothers me.
That is a problem, not like enforcing crimes.
Yeah, dude.
How are you supposed to keep a society if you're not going to have some rules and keep things in check?
Yeah, and I don't agree with all. Like, if you tell me not to do something, there's a good chance I'm going to do it just because I can't help myself.
It was really just the laws where it affects somebody else.
Exactly.
If it affects somebody else, then that's where I'll be like, okay, I understand the law.
If you're going to endanger somebody or you're going to hurt somebody, then no, don't do it. But other than that,
these flash mobs out in California, Like you see that in San Francisco where they just jump. Even like 50, 60, 70 people just run in, smash and dash a store, get out in less than 10 minutes.
Right.
Wow.
And it's like
they don't do anything.
What do you
just
videotape
have
them? Security. Like what I'm thinking is what went from a bunch of clerks is going to turn into like basically small police forces. Some of these major stores. So instead of having like people can check out themselves, they can punch in, get me my size, do all that.
No, everything's just going behind glass. It's going to be vending machine stores. Everything will be behind glass.
They have that law, right, where if it's under $1,000.
Yeah, under $1,000, you can't do anything.
And then you see where that one guy marked everything in his store above $1,000. And then when you went to check out, you got a coupon. You got a discount.
That's a way around it.
That was great.
That's smart.
Everything, so if you buy a pack of gum, it was like 1,059 cents, you know?
That's
you go check out and you get a coupon for $1,000 off.
That is awesome.
Great. Yeah, good workaround. That's
awesome.
America right there.
So do you want to tell the rest of the diner store?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, we're good. We're fine. We're
I
going
have
into the weeds. We
PTSD
like that.
from this, like having to deal with Chris every day. These two just get to deal with Chris from like a comedic standpoint.
Yeah.
They come in like once
that
a
was
week.
a decision.
They enjoy to watch and interact.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I'm trying to make enough, like just some money from this. He's scaring away customers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What
happened today?
What happened today?
We want to know what
So
happened
you
this
went in
morning.
this morning.
Well, let's do last night first. So he gets kicked out.
Right.
After you have that conversation, Matt comes over.
Mike. It's Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
Mike comes over after Chris grabs me by the arm, screams to everyone he didn't pay. Mike comes over and comes and checks, like, what's going on here? Craig's like, he's helping me do the show. No big thing. What are you doing here, Chris? And Chris goes, I'm cooking. And he goes, well, why aren't you in the kitchen? And he goes, well, I'm done. And he goes, then why are you here? And he goes, I might be coming to the show. And he goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. And at this point, Chris is clearly inebriated.
Oh,
yeah.
He's like pausing 5
God.
seconds,
Yeah.
staggering on the answer. And he goes, well, what if I pay? He goes, you're not coming in because you were drunk last time and you interrupted the show. We can't have you. He goes, well, I'll pay the $35.
He said that won't help you.
No, that won't help you.
No money in the world, bro.
At this point, Chris says nothing.
So I start trying to get him out of the room.
Yeah, Dylan diffused.
Yeah,
well,
Dylan.
that's what I try to do.
What did you say? You said something specific.
I said, "Do you even want to be
Yes,
here?"
he didn't want. He didn't want to go.
He
to the
doesn't
show.
really want to watch the show. He wants to pop in, be a little interrupter.
And so let's just go out. Now come out here and I'll talk to you.
Distract
for a
him.
Yeah.
And that's when he did the very dramatic
Take off a chain.
unbutton the shirt, take the chains
Take
off.
his.
And I'm
his
like, dude,
watch
what are you
off,
doing?
taking his
Like,
rings
what's
off.
going on?
I thought there was gonna be a fight.
Oh, yeah,
Like, it looked like he was about to.
When he finally gets the shirt off, what looks like a gun is in his waistband.
It's not a gun, though.
back pocket.
It's
It
not a
turns
gun.
out he wears
Bear
his
spray.
bear spray in a thing that looks like a gun.
Oh my God. He has bear spray
Yeah.
in the middle of Jeanette.
Well, it
Two
used
of
to
them.
be a
He
gun.
straps one around his ankle and he puts.
And I didn't go back for a long time, and I was like, because I'm not coming to this
Over the winter.
establishment with you with a weapon.
I won't
and
say the
that.
local that gave him a gun.
And tell me
It was the worst idea ever.
Tell me he's not allowed to own a gun,
Right.
right?
No,
Oh,
he's
of course.
absolutely
He's
not
a triple.
allowed.
He's on his third DUI, and he
But
doesn't
my
pay him
point
back.
was, like,
He pays the $5 a month.
And
This guy's out of here, by the way, for the place. Like going forward, like he's.
so yeah, we'll get there in a minute. But so
okay.
My bad.
and what you said is exactly true. He's a good guy.
Right, Yes. but-
And that's what I try to advocate for him, and I also tried to talk a little bit of sense into him. It's like, come on, don't do that. You're going to get yourself killed.
Right.
You're not going to kill anybody. You won't pull that, but you'll pull it out, and someone will shoot you.
Yeah.
That's what I
Right.
was.
Right. Yeah.
That happens too, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
'cause he's not gonna use
But when
it.
he starts doing the very dramatic, taking the shirt off, and I see that, and I'm like, oh, please, dear God, I thought this was over.
And he's not used to someone standing up to him. That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing with
Oh.
Alec that we have to talk about is he
Michael
has to
is
find
very
her.
good for the diner.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
you're
they
done.
are such an
You're done.
asset to like changing the way things.
I'm not.
been
Yeah,
going.
it's like I'm not.
Is he the new manager?
No, Michael O'Toole.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
runs.
Then him
the
and
comedy
Rocky
show, so he
getting
has some
involved has
influence over
been
how
a
it's managed.
And he
but-
doesn't
major
cook it anymore.
improvement to the diner.
That's
Yeah.
good.
No, and that hopefully, since Alec was there to see that, he needs to do the same thing.
Did
Yeah,
I meet Alec? I did, probably.
he was.
Maybe
He's the
he's
owner.
the
of
owner.
I wonder-
Actually, you probably wouldn't have
He was
glasses.
floating around.
He was pretty busy last
Should
night.
have,
too.
but
Yeah,
I guess it's
he
possible.
was
that
busy.
didn't.
I was helping somebody clean up a little bit at the end when dude left.
He left.
Yeah, I think he stayed maybe 15 minutes into your shift. He just had a second kid.
Into my show?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is before my show.
Oh, okay.
He was, after dude left, all the food was still out.
Yeah, that actually was probably Alec.
So whoever was cleaning up, I was kind of grabbing some glasses.
Yeah.
I was talking to him. Yeah, he was a good dude. Yeah.
He normally is on our podcast.
Oh, okay.
But he just had a kid, so
what happened
he's
today?
excused.
Yeah, he was a really good dude.
Chris was still mad about last night. And
of course.
He started fighting with our server, Joanne. Joanne wasn't having it. The first customer that comes in orders taco salad. So we do lunch and breakfast all hours. Like not open for dinner. But you can order lunch in the morning, breakfast at night.
Right.
Or in the afternoon.
Chris does not like it.
He doesn't like it at all. No. It's someone ordered a taco salad at 9 a.m. Chris just decided he didn't want to do it.
That's so funny you say that. I don't want to cut you off real quick,
go ahead.
but I was cooking at a bar, and I had just cleaned it was like 9 o'clock at night. I was closing up. I opened the kitchen for a guy, and I invented his menu for him, right? So I just got the flat top cleaned off. Someone came in and wanted 3 breakfast burritos at 9 o'clock at night, and I lost my shit, dude. I was like, who the eats a breakfast burrito at 9 o'clock at night? This is bullshit. I went, oh yeah. So I get it.
He sympathized.
So he does that, but the problem is you saw how our kitchen is.
Right.
You're right there. It's like hibachi style.
Yeah.
You say anything, and he's just going on and on. It's going to take me forever to heat up the meat. Tell him it's going to be 20 minutes. And the customer's just sitting there going like, I don't really want him to we'll get something else.
It's awkward, yeah.
And it's like, so they walk out. The customers who hadn't ordered yet, they're all sitting right there in those 3 booths by the kitchen. They all walk out.
Oh.
Joanne, our server, is angry because there goes all her money.
Yeah, tips.
And she was explaining it today. She wants to do a good job. So like that really like hurt her that like these people walk out. She wants to know why. And
he's drunk at 9 in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's like the kind of thing where once he got kicked out, he went upstairs, chugged a couple beers, passed out, woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, drank some more, fall asleep at 6. Wow. Get up at 8, and then he's in there in this half. He's angry, and it's like nobody was having it. Our owner, Alec, just had a second child.
Oh.
Like a couple weeks. We'll have him talk about that. But he's stressed, and at the same time, you're managing Chris, who's basically another child.
1 week.
1 week ago.
Today.
1 week ago. So today, he walked off. Got in a very confusing text altercation with Alec, where at some point...
This was over text?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And that's just Alex showing me the text, and they're not coherent. Like
you can't break up over text?
No, and that's why when you're saying, is he fired? In theory, Alec is resolved to do it.
Alec texted us saying he's fired.
Yes.
That's not...
No, that doesn't mean he's fired. That means that Alec wants to, but he's not that kind of guy. Alec's like one of those too nice. The story of Chris is he fell down the stairs drunk and only has one lung.
Are we sure about this? Because Alex seems to say he's done.
No, he's saying like
Alec.
Okay, if he told this group that he did other, then we would have blown up. I mean, I just got back into town to come and sit here for this.
Yeah,
I took a nap in the car. I woke up to 70-some text messages. That would have gone to 300 had Alec been like, yeah, I mean, I half told him, but then he said, Greg, didn't you say he said, yeah, so like tomorrow I'm coming in, right?
Yes. At first he goes like at 2 o'clock in the morning. He sends Alec a text going, I assume since I was fired from the comedy show, I'm getting fired from the cafe. Alec texts him in the morning. Okay, well, are you coming into work or not? He comes in and then goes, okay, I'm going to be done. I'm moving back with my mom. I'm taking my dog with me. Oh. This is over.
Like it's a real breakup. Taking my dog. No crap you're taking your dog, dude.
He's living upstairs.
Okay, wait, so that, why didn't we hold there?
Alec gave him a mealy mouth, like, okay, we'll talk about it. And then the next message is, so you need me to work tomorrow? And it's like,
wow.
That's when I left at noon. And at this point, Alec, you can just, he's wrecked. Like just mentally does not want to deal with this. He has another job he's doing. He doesn't have to. He owns the property. I think he wants to transition into becoming a club. And like being open at night.
His entire support group that we know about is encouraging the comedy scene to happen.
He should delegate a little bit.
It's very tough, and that's what I was trying to explain.
Who you can delegate to, Chris?
It's to recruit someone to work with Chris every day.
I don't know. Like
it's funny once a month.
Yeah.
No, 3 days a week, 4 hours, and he's mumbling at you at 10 o'clock in the morning, yelling that he doesn't want to make anything. It's like you want to put his head through a wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, just stay at least in the kitchen so you don't cost me tips. Like as soon as you spill it on the floor, we got nothing but problems.
But changes are happening. We are making improvements.
I would like to think this more is a chance of a rebirth, where if Alec is going to have the skills he needs as an owner, He needs to stand up, fire him. He has one of Rocky's friends.
Yeah.
That's what we were joking about, you being a cook. He just interviewed someone new. We might have someone who can be stable.
The feature on the first show.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
there you go.
Probably gonna.
So you got a cook and an in-house comic, man.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's great.
It's the kind of thing we can change it. Just kind of get rebrand, get away from this breakfast kind of menu and move into a lunch dinner.
Why wouldn't you leave breakfast open too?
Because right now we need one cook to be able to be open 6 days a week. To be able to be open 12, 16 hours a day, you're going to need at least 2 full-time cooks.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to recruit because no one will work with Chris. As soon as no one's going to sit and take orders from him as head chef.
Yeah, I sure as I would.
No, can you imagine starting and it's like, you take your orders from him.
Yeah.
And it's like that.
And I'll be like, okay. I'm going to not do that. It's not, so. That kitchen ain't big enough to hold it.
No,
someone be coming through it.
There's not enough room.
Oh, that's crazy.
So we're seeing.
Oh no!
I don't know.
Ring.
Dylan,
it doesn't matter.
What do you guys think as far as moving forward here?
I'm encouraging him to focus on going towards the comedy scene, being a comedy club.
You make your money off selling drinks,
but you have the off-site. Right now, we can't afford that at this moment. You know, you got to build into it. So bring somebody in. This is what my advice to him was: bring somebody in with the off-site liquor license. And just let them make their money. Don't take a cut. Keep the price low. That draws people in. Fill the seats. If you can sell out both shows, you're making more money than just... And the liquor's going to draw more people. It's probably for a lot of people, they don't want to carry a bottle in. But, I mean, it is a perk for other people.
Well, I mean, if you want to, especially with money being tight. But then you got people getting hammered.
Yeah, right.
Hammered drunk. Like, there was a couple people, even my sister.
It's
like, but after the show, she was wearing my shirt. Remember when I told her to stand up, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, when we were getting ready to leave, she's like, you never did the shirt thing. And I was like, yes, I did. I was like, and she couldn't remember for the life. And even her husband was like, yeah, he stood you up. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh yeah, so she had fun though. It was so good to see her. But yeah, it was funny she said that. I'm like, no, we totally did that. We definitely did that.
Right.
It was good. That was funny. I had a blast though, man. It was a great crowd. Great crowd.
Yeah, good audience.
Yeah.
You think going forward, could you see that place being successful?
I think so. If you keep consistency is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
And you got Pittsburgh, the off to my right, the Asian girl and the dude that came in from California, right?
Yeah.
They told me after the show, they're like, we're staying at the airport, and she's like, we're here for one more night. There was a soccer thing with one of their kids, I guess, and but they told me, they're like, well, we looked at the Improv and who was performing there, and then we saw that you were here, and she's like, we Googled both of you, and she's like, we thought you were funnier, so we came to see you. And I was like, oh, that's awesome,
nice.
dude. Yeah. So that's how they ended up there.
And that was just from following you on social media?
No, they
were looking.
Just on like Google?
Yeah, they were looking for shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
because they've never heard about me until then.
Okay.
So yeah, they were like, we Googled you and we Googled him, and we thought you were funnier. So we're like, we're glad we came and saw you. We had a blast. And I'm like, that made my whole night. I'm like,
yeah.
Thank you. I mean, that's good. Yeah. I could be definitely an improv caliber comic, which I've done there before, but it was just nice that they, picked me, yeah.
Especially driving the whole way from Pittsburgh.
It was definitely worth it. The show was literally, I've watched a lot of comedy. You were just like, the show was just as good as any of the big names.
I appreciate that.
And the entire vibe in there, especially with when you're working with such, we talked about on the way over, the intimate setting.
Right. Yeah.
I just love that about this room, and you don't get that when you go down and watch somebody in a theater,
right, or
at the Improv and those bigger rooms. You get this nice.
Yeah.
I just love this part of comedy.
Sure, intimate is good, but I almost said we, but I'm just somebody on the outskirts looking in. Mm-hmm. But the seats need to be filled. So. One thing I would be curious to hear your opinion on is if you were running, not headlining, you were running a club and you needed to fill seats every week, what would you be doing? Aside from, like, they're bringing people in.
Right.
But you still need awareness and...
Yeah, you got to advertise, obviously. You got to promotions, maybe give tickets away. You got to keep the quality of your comics up. One bad comic could hurt your room, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, you got to bring hard hitters coming in.
They've definitely done that, and they've been doing the advertising.
Well, Rocky's been in the business for years.
Yeah.
He knows. He's so knowledgeable on it. So, I mean, he'll do right by it. But, yeah, I mean, you got to – consistency is the biggest thing. You got to be consistent every night, you know, every week. You got to –
I feel the problem right now is we launched in summer.
Right.
Well, that's
Summer's
fine.
right.
That's time to work your kinks out.
That's how I've been viewing it. I think it's perfect for that. When we hit fall here, when people start thinking more indoors entertainment, we're going to have things streamlined. We're going to work out all of our kinks.
Yeah. But you could advertise at that brewery across the street. Looked like they had a band or something, you know.
Yeah, they
cross promotions, you know, work with other businesses. Or I don't know if they would do that.
Sobel's had live music.
So they're good people.
Yeah,
good people.
We went over and tried a bunch of beer before. So, I don't know. It's so much to do. But, yeah, consistency and, maybe promotion, radio. Well, Rocky said they got some sponsors, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So,
What are your thoughts on selling tickets that don't have the food necessarily included on it? If somebody just wanted to come to see the show,
I think you might
but
do
didn't
better
want
on
to,
that because I think $35 can kind of intimidate somebody for a show.
if only serving 3 pasta.
Yeah. So especially if you're not like, you know, I mean, I'm mid-level, you know, I'm a name. People know me in pockets. I'm not like a household name.
Yeah.
You know. So $15-$20 usually was what I go.
That to me would seem $20.
But then you create a comedy club menu. So you have a restaurant, so you create a comedy club menu, something easy. I don't know if you have a fryer there or anything,
Yeah.
So
I
you
like
make
this.
like a 10-item menu. You know,
You're not buffet.
Club.
Just if you want food,
right? You want food, you order it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then you're making money off of the food. People might be more inclined to buy it. Not everyone likes pasta. Not everyone likes buffets.
Exactly.
So yeah, as far as that, I would make a comedy club dinner menu. Quick, easy items.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not like a whole shit ton. 5, 10.
We've been advocating for this from the
This is why
right now, Alex gonna listen to every word of this. We're gonna play it live on the next show.
Yeah.
And have to respond.
We're gonna have to cut out sound bites and play them for him. Have him
play this on a
respond.
loop.
If you do, I want a menu item named after me.
Yes.
We'll tell him
What type of item?
I don't know. It don't matter.
Do you have a specialty back in your day?
I make a lot of burgers, man. So a Bubba burger.
A Bubba burger.
Bubba burger. Bubba burger.
Yeah.
That's like I can do a good burger.
Tell him Dylan's foray into business with Alec was last summer. Last summer, last summer we did every other Thursday there was a food truck day, where a bunch of food trucks would come outside right on that main street we were on, and we try and participate in it. Me and Dylan will run. Like, Dylan makes a very good smash burger. He'd say the best smash burger. It's the best I've ever had.
No. I do not think it's the best.
It's good. Never mind. It's a good smash burger.
It is really good.
It's good. Just for context, I was a vegan for a long time. I'm sorry. And there came a point where literally the only thing I could think about was burgers.
Right.
Because like burgers were my favorite food growing up, burgers and wings. And I was a vegan or vegetarian or something like that for basically a decade. And it got to the point where it's just burger. And then one day, I started caving. Yeah, I got every hamburger book that's ever been written.
Hamburger America.
Well, he's the one that got me back into it. And we, like the first hamburger I ate coming out of being a vegan was I made, why am I blanking on his name? Matty Matheson's P&L burger. I don't know if you know who Matty Matheson is. He's funny. He's from Canada. But they have this amazing double smash burger with bacon, onion, jam. Oh, there's lettuce. There's pickles. Yeah. A pickle relish.
Are we doing single or do you do triple? Double?
That one was a double. So this is just the first burger I've had in 10 years, right? And it just blew my mind because it was better that it was a really good burger. The way that because you got the we did that off YouTube, not out of the book. We got the book later. Anyway, that I do not make the best burger. I'm on a lifelong quest to permanently make better burgers. Like I'm always trying to make a better burger.
The style of the business we were doing was hibachi burgers.
Okay.
Where it's like he had a giant griddle, that he could make
out front of that
6 burgers
cafe.
at a time.
Okay.
And people would come up and 1 burger, 2 burgers.
6. I could make like probably 16 at a time if needed.
But we were doing really well. We wanted Alec to switch the model to try and play on.
We weren't
smash
doing well
burgers.
yet. There was proof of concept, but I wouldn't say that we were doing very well. Let's be fair, right? Like it's not like
I think had we backed this from the beginning, we'd be in a different
I
space
fully
right now.
believe it could be very successful, but it's not like we did.
Like we
all
started
that
as
much.
just the 2 of us
All right,
and his
all right.
family running a lemonade stand, smashing burgers, collecting cash money, and
We did have
full
people.
line.
There were people coming in and requesting.
I still get requests. And it's terrible because it was like serving food that's good. People are so excited,
Right.
and I'm so used to now serving food that it's like I don't.
To this day, the only compliments that have ever like made me like if people say something nice to me, like the only thing that I ever really think like, oh, and I'm glad they think that was like when people who like burgers go, you made a really good burger. That's like
I think for a good smash burger, the most important 2 things are you don't overwork the meat and you got a super hot griddle.
Yep.
I mean, that's for me. I think that's the main because you don't want to overwork it if you're going to smash it. Because that way it'll get tough. So
for selling them, the most important thing, as I learned, is I would cover the griddle in like a thick layer of onions, like an hour and a half before I wanted to sell, and then I put a fan behind me, blow it out into like whatever festival we were doing, or we did a couple other things, but that smell then would just have people salivating, and they'd line up, and even people that don't like onions and didn't want them, it would just. That drew them in so well.
No, that's right in front of you.
Actually, I did one of my specialty burgers was like a play on, kind of like a Hawaiian deal, but so we had I made candied jalapenos and
love candied.
Yeah,
jalapenos.
some grilled pineapple, and then I made a mayo sweet chili, sweet Thai chili sauce to go over top of it.
Bubba's burger. We got the
We
recipe.
just got the recipe.
Okay,
Put it on the menu. Put it on the menu.
It's my favorite burger. I've not even tried to.
I've never tried pineapple.
But my favorite burger of all time, which I've not had, had pineapple. I've not had it in a long time.
A lot of people get turned off on pineapple, but when you do the candied jalapenos, so you got the sweet and the heat, and then the chili mayo, it's like a sweet Thai chili mayo, and then the pineapple, dude. Oh, it is something to behold, man.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So but burgers are good. But yeah, a little menu, man. Nothing huge. Chicken tenders, French fries, mozzarella
cheese
sticks.
sticks,
Easy.
chips,
Sliders if you want to do,
A pretzel that just goes in the toaster.
Shit like that. That's most comedy clubs. That's what they have, and they sell.
Yeah.
So
finger food,
and you can make it quickly.
Make it
hot,
quick. Yeah.
silverware.
To order.
We're selling stuff. With
I think there should
silverware.
be-
It's like you can't. People don't have they don't have that much room.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't have that much room in front of them.
They're
Greg,
fighting over the temperature. It's like ridiculous.
Greg, I think there should
Thermometer's
be
not real.
there should be a hot dogs being sold, right?
I'm not engaging. I'm not engaging.
Are you not a fan of the hot dog?
No, there is an ongoing debate where Craig's friend has opened up a mobile hot dog stand, similar to what we were doing with hamburgers.
And it's working, and that's cool.
I just don't like hot dogs, so I don't know why Craig pushes.
He hates the whole idea of
Yeah,
it.
but you don't like hot dogs. But why do you have to hate on
The business model.
I'm not hating on the business model. I'm just saying I don't.
You said it
you
part
definitely
itself.
did.
You definitely were hating on it.
hating on this thing. I wouldn't buy it. Like I'm not gonna go and buy a $4, $5, $6 hot dog
Oh yeah.
because you can make it at your house for 50 cents.
That was the point. That's why it's such a good business model.
Yeah.
I'd rather sell something that you're proud of, like a burger. That's where like.
It's funny because I ran a hot dog stand. I did in Montana, man. Because the bar I worked at is called the Molly Brown, and it's in what we call the Bermuda Triangle in Bozeman, Montana. So the Molly Brown's right here. There's a big parking lot here. The Hofbrau's right here, and then there's another bar called the Scoop right here. So Friday night, Saturday night, it was hopping, dude. You'd go from bar to bar. Now the Hofbrau served food, but only until 9 o'clock. The Scoop did not. And the Molly didn't serve food either, but she had a food license. I'm like, I do a hot dog cart. She's like, hell yeah. But I was doing hot dogs, burgers, wings, man. Because growing up here, you can go to any restaurant, and there's like 30 flavors of wings, right? Yeah. Not like that in Montana. You get hot and mild, and that's it. Unless you go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
That's kind of good for me, though. I'm playing.
Are you playing?
Yeah.
But I brought a lot of that out, and then every Sunday I was doing burgers, hot dogs, I was doing brats, I was doing wings.
Nice.
On Sundays for football, I was doing like because we had a lot of Steeler implants, we had a lot of New England implants. So I was doing my version of panini sandwich or a Pamani brother.
Oh yeah.
And that went like crazy, man. And so it was fun. Yeah,
that's not. It's just a hot dog stand.
Again,
that's like food truck stuff.
He
has literally a pull behind hot dog cart that he parks in town when they do.
I think
I'm not anti.
Does other events?
I'm not anti.
I think I speak for everyone when I reiterate you're hired.
Yes.
Well, at least I'm hungry now.
If you set up a menu, I would sit down and help you.
I want to try this pineapple smash burger.
Yeah.
Good. I've
this needs to go on the
smash
menu.
burger. That would probably be all right though. Yeah, but yeah, just yeah.
So how did you do it? Just a
just like a half-pound burger.
Half-pound burger. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite burger of all time. Actually, it was not a smash burger. It was a pineapple.
But if I was gonna do a smash burger, I'd do a double. So I would put the bun. I'd do a layer of the sauce, burger, pineapple, burger, candied jalapenos, maybe then another layer of sauce, and then ship it.
Why aren't we cooking right now? All right, it's a cooking podcast.
There was something in the group thread I read, Dylan. I thought you were cooking.
What are we doing for the bun?
For the what?
What the bun?
Oh yeah.
A couple things. I use regular buns.
Okay.
If you want to get crazy with it, maybe like an Italian or one of the King's Hawaiian. I don't know if that would be too sweet with everything else.
King's Hawaiian.
It might be good though, So or a brioche. Maybe a heavy bun though, because it can get juicy. So something that can hold up to it. So like maybe a brioche or I don't know. You can play with it. I just use regular buns when we were on restaurant that I was serving it in. So
okay.
Yeah, you can get crazy. You can do whatever you want.
I get with any sandwich in particular. Maybe it's because my dad's from Philly and we go out there all the time. But like,
the bread is king. Right?
The bread. Get real.
Bread will make or break a sandwich. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. So I don't know. What would be your thoughts on it? What do you think would be for that type of?
I'd like to throw in anything but bread frozen in the freezer for the last month.
Oh yeah,
month. We're talking 3-4 months.
I guess it like
bread in advance.
I guess in my head I had brioche.
Brioche, yeah.
Yeah,
brioche
probably toasted.
Yep.
Just to your point about it holding up.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want. There's a lot of liquid.
There's a lot of action.
Yeah, there's a lot of liquid going on there. Yeah. So yeah, you want a hefty bun that will hold up. I think brioche is your bet.
Okay.
It'd be good. Or you can try the King's Hawaiian. I just don't know.
I like that idea. Does King's Hawaiian toast well?
I've never done it.
I've never toasted it.
I've put them in the oven and heated them up. But
okay.
I've never. But that's just gonna make it softer. I don't know. I just don't know if it'd be too sweet. Maybe not.
You've never toasted King's Hawaiian? No. It's good. It works well. My aunt does a thing with them that just lunch meat and cheese when she's trying to feed like a ton of people and toast them in the oven. But they kind of caramelize almost a little bit. It's good.
Oh, they're sugar or they're sweet.
We'll have to report back on the bread on the Bubba Burger.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you would go with. Try them both, but I'd go brioche. Maybe try King's Hawaiian if it's not too sweet. Everything else is easy.
I think there's got to be a Bubba Burger on the menu now.
I'm thinking Bubba's Burger sounds like a good name. Like I like that as the sound of the building.
Yeah. So with the sauce, is basically I was doing equal parts mayo to like a sweet chili that you can get at Walmart.
Yeah.
Thai sweet chili, and then half a lemon to help break everything up, mix it up, good to go.
Nah, I'm ready to do this.
Any other menu items you have to recommend here?
I'm ready to do this next week.
I mean, let's say like that'd probably be a good slider. You make 3 of them little sliders,
Ooh. Sliders would be perfect in the showroom.
Yeah, especially if you did like the King's Hawaiian, you could do the little.
Oh, the little potato roll buns.
Yeah, little ones, and then maybe.
Would you let food in the showroom?
Yes, but yeah, I would.
Okay.
Because usually comedy clubs, they're serving food all night.
Really?
Making money, yeah.
Even
but
while
it's
you're
also
performing?
a bigger room where waitresses can actually get around. You don't want anyone coming into that room during a set. But I would say let them eat in there, yeah.
If they take it in with them.
Serve food during the show in there.
Okay.
So maybe there needs to be like a wait period beforehand where servers can kind of get around, do all that before the show starts.
Yeah, let them go in and,
and even then, it's easy. The way that it's set up, you just use that counter. If we just had an app where you could put your order on your phone, like you do at Sheets, and then you say, okay, 18, 16, 15, and you come to the counter and just pick it up. That way you don't have to do it in the room.
Aren't we still trying to get him to get the technology to where you only have to write it once?
True. Never mind. I was surpassing that we don't even have an iOS system.
Great.
It's all you got to write down your check and then you got to write down the kitchen check.
POS.
POS.
Yeah. You and
we
I
don't have iOS either. We're using 90s tech.
Yeah, we're not. No iPhone updates.
We got nothing.
No point of sale.
We got nothing. We got to register from 1992.
Yeah, here's your BlackBerry. Have fun.
Adjusting the antenna.
Literally. You're trying to out of the kitchen. You're trying to figure out where the antenna goes.
Oh my God.
We have updated nothing.
There is a newspaper.
Oh yeah, the news.
I'm just saying, there's a newspaper. There might not be a POS, but it's a newspaper.
Did that happen? That was before.
Well, there was one.
Yeah, that's
concurrent with
that.
It was being printed from the back
Another
room
thing about
that
Alec.
time.
Alec tried to open his own newspaper.
Multiple times.
He
successfully.
He's very ambitious in starting these products, but he doesn't always have a full plan. He's like the initial.
No, he's got plans.
Yeah,
you got to continue planning. And hey, he's the one that owns the diner with a comedy club. He does. Give him credit.
He is doing it. That's like one of the things about Alec that I do really like about him. Is he is ambitious. He tries things.
Like you got to throw it.
Yeah, got to get a chance.
Too. He's got the business.
Yep.
Just need to cook. Run a restaurant. You
Working
need to cook.
on it.
Yeah. We're gonna fix that.
We just.
I'm hoping we had the interview
to cover.
We had the interview today
to get him up here.
A big thing that what I would like to see from Alec is his ability to fire Chris here. He has to be able to do it. That's a tough thing to do. Someone that you feel bad for.
I'm pretty sure he did. I got a text later, not in our group.
But to get him out of the building and to fire him or not.
Getting him out of the building is a different thing, yeah. But that's going to happen. I mean,
it doesn't sound like he's going to stay.
It took a while to move him in.
Sounds like he's a crazy ex that's going to keep showing up when you're
that's what I was more worried during the shift today. I'm wondering when he's going to come down with his bear spray
and start around, and then the next day you're there.
Do we know anybody that has any security experience?
Hell
yeah. Listen, 6 figures, I'll come back. But I can't take less than 6 because I'll be losing money.
Maybe somebody bringing a load through for the show.
I mean, I'll book a load. I'll multitask. I already got 7 jobs as it is. Let's do it. This economy, I'm not even, man, it's tough. I don't know how people are doing it that don't make we make $8 an hour. You're not living. My wife and I make really good money, and we struck a little bit. It's.
Me and my wife been talking about that a lot. It's like how we both make pretty good incomes, and things are just tough. Food is really the thing.
Yeah.
The grocery bill is just through the roof.
Yeah, easy.
Which
Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah,
it's working good.
Yeah, the prices only went up a little less than they did last month. It's just a.
That dude's so clueless. He comes on everything's great. No, bro, it's not. You're an idiot. Let's not do this.
It has been more advantageous to us to just keep everything we've produced and eat it all. So we've not felt that, but only because we haven't sold any. We put everything in the freezer. And just I guess that's forget the grocery store.
How long?
Why would we go to the grocery store?
How long are you prepared for? How much meat do you have stored down there?
Indefinitely.
You've bacon forever.
No, because we don't currently have any pigs, so we would eat through. But we do have.
Is it just frozen, or are you smoking some? How are you preserving it?
Well, even the smoked meats have to be. That type of smoked meat still needs to be frozen. It's not going to.
Oh, I was always under the understanding that they used to just smoke it to make it last.
Well, sure, and they'll do that over winter and then eat the ham on the other end. But you're not. You're still going to have spoilage.
Yeah.
And they were much more tolerant of some amount of spoilage when they didn't have refrigeration, and so that they would smoke, and that would keep things better than if you didn't have anything.
It protects the outer layer, but they would pack it in salt.
Yeah,
I did know that part. Yeah.
You can dry age steaks, man. I had a dry age steak. It was probably the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. I think it was 8 months or something like that. It was a long time, but yeah, it was good, dude.
Is that in a refrigerator, or is that just?
To be honest, I've never done it, and I should probably know, but I do not.
I think they're dry aging in the refrigerator. So you still need, you can salt and keep it below that temperature, but to answer the question, we have it all in the freezer right now.
Okay. And it'll last you how long, you think? It's like freezer isn't indefinitely, right? Or is it?
You have some amount of, if you freeze it well, it lasts a lot longer than if you're like putting it in to a reefer truck and taking it to the grocery store and putting it into the person's car and getting home and then putting it into then you've got all these fluctuations.
So if it's going straight from butcher to freezer,
if it's going a good flash freeze, quickly kept cold the whole time, it's going to last a lot longer before you have texture problems, and that's really the only problem you're going to have.
Yeah,
you're not going to get to a point where it's not edible. Yeah. It just won't
be the way I want it to be.
Right,
nice and juicy.
I mean, even as soon as you freeze it, though, it's not going to be
as fresh.
As fresh.
Yeah.
Frozen well, it's not bad. Like it's and that's just something you have to deal with if you're farming on a small scale.
Got to cook them steaks room temperature, baby.
This is so much food talk. Next time
starving.
Next time we're gonna have the burger. We're gonna have Bubba's Burger, and we're gonna try it.
All right.
Actually, on air. We'll sample
next
it
time,
out.
if I'm here, maybe I can make it for y'all.
There we go.
We got all the equipment, everything that we need out here.
We have probably 1,200 pounds of pork alone. Not that's not all
the pork burgers are good.
But we have.
I would not have think I would have liked that.
Well, but it's just to be clear. You didn't say sausage, but a lot of people assume that means sausage. I'm not.
No, it tasted just like a hamburger.
Just pork. Yeah. Well, not just like a hamburger. I like the difference. I like different types of.
I like them. Yeah.
So what part of the pig are you using for that? Is it shank? Or are you using?
For that ground pork, we did everything but the bacon.
Oh, okay.
We had a lot of pigs, and so I had the luxury to just kind of.
So pretty much everything but the belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because I wanted as much bacon as I could.
Right.
And we had enough of the other cuts that we didn't need any more ham because we had hams from the last round of pigs we had raised. So, and I had that same a farmer down the road who loves sausage. He loves sausage, and he kind of geeks out on what the best. What things to include are, and the only thing that he pulls out some pork chops too. And we had enough pork chops. I think the ground pork is everything but bacon.
Do you want to do a lightning round on some news stories?
That'll work. Yeah,
yeah. He wants to be back by 10, right?
Close it out. You've got an early morning. Early morning.
Yeah.
The debate coming up. Donald just announced he's going to go on Tucker as counter-programming on Twitter, as opposed to taking the debate stage at the same exact time as Fox is going to run their first presidential debate.
Oh, wow.
Good to see. Yeah.
So wait, Republicans?
Yeah. The Republicans are having their primary.
Republicans minus Trump.
8 candidates. They let everybody on the stage.
Because Trump doesn't feel like he should have to debate.
Chris Christie, Mike Pence are actively saying that they're just
lost, but he won the party.
Well, yeah.
So if you're him, what does he have to win by going?
But then you got it, too, because maybe he's never gotten a fair debate, really. Even the CNN one that they did, they tried to get him, but
his best part was being able to
turn. Yeah, boom, every turn but maybe he doesn't want to deal with that. It's going to be a slam piece. I don't know.
But hold on.
I think he's trying to prove a point. He's going to be funny. You're going to watch me. You're not going to worry about these guys.
I feel like his strongest. He is funny.
But he's never had. In 2016, he was the outsider. Going against 10 insiders.
But has a debate ever hurt him?
I would say versus Joe Biden, he did very bad.
Really?
His Joe Biden debates, he was coached by Chris Christie, Kellyanne Conway, and Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, yeah, his debates from the second
He ended up making fun of Hunter's drug
addiction,
which allowed Joe to go, I stood by my boy, I'm a loyal father, and you actually sympathize with him, as opposed to hammering home, he's taking $5 billion from China.
Yeah, and that between the moderator, that one was that dude. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
the little
Lester Holt.
No, it was the squirmy one. I'm thinking of with the glasses or
Don Lemon.
Nope.
Jake Tapper.
Nope.
They're all squirmy.
Greg knows all of them.
It was the last one. I think it was in September of 2020. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cuomo. Is that what
No, they were going to give him a debate.
Was it the guy who used to do Fox News Sunday who went to CNN?
I think so.
Yes. Chris Wallace.
Yes.
Yes,
that one. Yeah.
His show is Who's Talking to Chris Wallace.
Okay, it was him, and he kept like interrupting him, and he wouldn't let him.
Awful.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It's like give him a.
And that's where, if he takes the debate on, that was on Fox. He takes that Fox debate now. You have Chris Christie, who is just only going at him for his indictments.
Right.
And I don't know. That's another question I had. Do you care about the fourth indictment?
I put there was a TikTok trend going on where everyone was like, Trump got indicted for this. So I made one and said, Trump just finding out he got indicted for cracking the Liberty Bell on the back of it, because why not? What the hell's next? Let's just
the hurricane in Hawaii. Yeah. Trump did it.
And it makes me mad because, like, dude, for whatever Donald Trump is, he's arrogant for sure. He is a type A personality. He's all those things, and I'm sure he can be an asshole. But for the most part, if you look back, he did a lot of really nice things. People loved him. Now they hate him. But if you're going to be a billionaire, you got to be a little arrogant. You got to be a little,
to run for president, to say I should be the leader of the world.
We want that. We want competence, cockiness, whatever it is. I don't care. Biden has none of that. Nobody messed with us when Trump was in office, and everyone jokes about it because that crazy guy next door. You don't mess with him because you don't know what the hell he's going to do. That's exactly what they didn't know. You're like, this dude would murder Saul. So I like that. That makes me feel safe. So no one's afraid of Biden. Dude can't make a sentence without pooping his pants. So I don't know what
it was bad this week.
I feel like
I wish we had some clips.
The debate style.
He was trying to pronounce he had Japan and South Korea visit, so he had to read their names.
Oh, good.
Oh, boy.
The Grand Canyon, the ninth wonder of the world, bro.
Shing Ping Bong Koala.
It's just like, still missing from Hawaii. Still has not made it.
No, Trump went to Hawaii and was talking to people.
Yep. Tulsi's there.
Oh, I would have voted for her in a minute. I don't care.
That's my candidate.
Would anybody,
I'll still vote for her now.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. I mean, it's because I was going so crazy when all this stuff was going down because I'm like, okay, you don't want Trump, that's fine. Let's get a better person, right? Biden is not. Kamala Harris is a moron. And then, so when you see this, someone like me, I'm like, okay, so they're bringing these guys in so they can control them. They're puppets. They don't want someone like Tulsi Gabbard, who was on the left. She was a Democrat, but she crossed the aisle. She had a lot of good views, and she was
a Russian asset.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. And then they blackballed her at that first debate. They Google. They what do you call it?
Yeah.
Shadow banned or whatever they did, and you couldn't Google her or nothing.
Oh yeah, it just broke.
Yeah.
All of a sudden on the West Coast on debate night, you just Google wasn't working when you tried to search her name.
So you have this intelligent woman who's, oh man, I would have loved that.
She took out Kamala on her stance against marijuana.
Oh my God,
you've arrested like 3,000 people, and it was just like a 2-minute recap.
Yeah, just
and it's like, okay, Kamala is out.
Right.
No, you couldn't. The night that she's blowing up, where she should be raising money.
Wasn't that in Kamala's hometown, or
it was in her? It was West Coast. Yeah, it was West Coast. This was early debate. It was. She only lasted a couple more. This is after she called Joe a racist because the bus.
This is a lightning round, by the way.
This is
no, it's all good. No,
we fired around there a bunch of
I know.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Yeah. So,
I guess to Dylan, do you think there's any advantage that Trump should have taken the debate instead of doing this with Tucker? I think with this on Tucker, this is really him taking a jab at Fox News as a business model.
I really have no idea. I don't know anything about
I wouldn't put it past him, being that Fox did what they did to Tucker. And he's not going to give them the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a better play. Because, I mean, like, honestly, a debate with that many people, it's just going to be...
You have people, everyone's taking cheap shots at you. Well, you're indicted 4 times.
And honestly, I don't want to hear, personally... No. Whatever's coming out of that debate, it's not going to be very valuable. I just don't expect that to be very valuable.
I'm not going to lie. I like Vivek.
I was just about to say, he's on Bill Maher right now. He just did Bill Maher Club Brand.
I like him. I mean, I don't...
Who is this?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy.
He's a tech entrepreneur. He's 38 years old.
Yeah.
He's wrote out a bunch of books. I think Woke Inc. was the name of his big one, and it's just kind of calling out the ESG, environmental social governance score.
He's a first-generation American.
Yep.
Right? His parents are from India.
Very good debater.
Yeah.
Short, quick.
Smart.
Yep.
Like a lot of good views. Very.
So does he have a chance? I guess that's my...
He's under DeSantis, I think, last I looked.
To me, he's not He has to say he's running. He has to say he's running for president. Yeah.
Oh, but they flip.
Vivek is the only person other than Trump that has any momentum.
Well, he's doing it good.
And he's cutting into Trump's base online.
Well, he's younger.
His Twitter, it's one of those. He's the same. He doesn't take any shots at him.
Yeah.
He just kind of says what you're doing to Donald Trump is wrong. I have a different presentation.
Right.
Trump has his way of doing it.
Yeah.
I have mine.
Then, if I were Trump, I would.
That's my VP.
No,
Vivek is my VP.
I don't know anything about that, but just hearing you describe that, I would let the field narrow down to whoever the contender is going to be, and then do the debate with that, and then because he would be better one-on-one anyway.
I'd say there's 3 candidates. You have Vivek, DeSantis, and Tim Scott.
DeSantis.
I don't think he's going to be.
DeSantis' campaign's over.
But right now in the polling,
he you didn't see this weekend. He had his deplorables moments.
What was the exact? What was the phrase?
Listless.
Did he give someone a nickname?
He basically owed half of Trump's base deplorable.
Oh.
He pulled like a Hillary.
You can't attack
and then,
Trump.
And then someone deep faked DeSantis' face and voice onto Hillary.
Hammer. Oh,
and
that. There's a terrible meme of him with Hillary hair. And he's just like, oh no.
I think right now it's so volatile, and I don't even know what's better. Is it better if Trump were to run and get elected? Because I know he did a good job, but now you have the left, which will vote for whoever they're told to vote for. Then you have the right, conservatives, and then you got a lot of the libertarians, right? They're all over here. But in that sect now, you have the hardcore Trump supporters that are just going to be 100% Trump. Then you got, your conservatives. They're different. So I don't know. Trump, I'm sure they'll vote for whoever, but I don't know how that plays out. You know what I mean?
Trump's a lot more in the middle. So I'm really libertarian, and that's what I don't like about Trump is he uses the government too much for my liking.
Really? Yeah. He did,
in my opinion.
Well, that's probably true. He knows how to play the system for sure, but he was always, other than a couple of things, I felt which was funny to me because they're like, this dude's a fascist, blah blah blah, and you're like, no, he was like one of the first presidents that actually stuck to the Constitution, and that part
he was
of it
not anything a fascist. That was the craziest
close,
stuff
right?
they were saying.
And from day one,
that's part of the the weird communist. You want to see some real weird? Go find like the Daily Worker from the 1930s when they're complaining about Walt Disney, and it's all the same language. It's all this. They have one playbook. They've been running it for over 100 years. Oh. Yeah, it's the most. I don't know if do you know who Razor Fist is?
No.
He does a lot of really good. I think I might have showed you. They're really good videos where he's real quick and snappy too. So it's not like you're sitting through a boring like lecture, but he's just going through like, hey, here's this article that happened in the 1920s about like Hollywood. If you want to understand what Hollywood is, you got to go the whole way back then
when it first
right,
started.
And then even like how did it get so unbalanced? It's like John Wayne and Ayn Rand got pushed out, and they were the only other wing of Hollywood. And then after that happened, it's been total. And again, going back,
J.K. Rowling was canceled.
Yeah.
Harry Potter is canceled because she just said women should only play in women's sports.
Yeah, how dare they?
How dare they? Radical of a take to do. Entertainment wise, have you heard that "Rich Man from Richmond" song?
Oh yeah, Oliver
that went super viral.
Yeah,
and just like the liberal news has started.
Is this the country song that they were saying is about?
Well, it's a guy from West Virginia.
I'm not a country fan, but I listen to that song and I'm like, how did they even figure this into it?
It's a country that doesn't exist anymore.
Or
in the current
is it a dog whistle now? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, it's QAnon. Because he said the Epstein Island.
Oh.
In the middle when he goes about minors.
Wish politicians looked out for minors, not just minors on an island.
He's Q-baiting.
That was one of the lyrics.
Clearly Cuban.
I didn't listen to it that close. It's
a good song. I mean, it speaks to so many people because he's just talking about he's tired of the rich men from Richmond are the politicians, and he's tired of just all the bullshit. Yeah, so that line, and then it goes into we got people on the street that ain't got nothing to eat, and then he's like, you got the obese milk and welfare, right? And then I get it, I'm fat, but I work for my fatness, dude. I go to work. If I want to buy a bag of cookies, I do it, right? It's like, he goes, Lord, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, the taxes ought not pay for your bag of fudge rounds. I love it, man.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So
the surveilling, the things that they want to know what you do, they want to know what you think, and they think you don't know.
Exactly.
That's a very.
But we know that you do. Yeah.
The government should be there for just survival. It should not be there for a convenient lifestyle.
We're a republic, so it's the states are in charge of what they do. The government is only there to support, and that's gotten way out of hand, man.
Right. I guess I'm thinking, he's your comedian trying to break out, trying to get to that next big level. This guy just had his YouTube moment where he has 25 million off one joke, one 5 minute, one. Yeah. How does he capitalize off this? How does and stay true to himself?
Well, because he's already turned down an $8 million record
that's
deal,
what I'm saying.
Right?
He's doing free tours, I believe, in South Carolina.
He did one song.
He has an album. He has a whole album. This is just the way this was shot. He's out in the middle of the West Virginia
Oliver
Wild.
Anthony, Richmond, everywhere, man.
Yeah. Top of the charts on Apple.
He can make money. I mean, if you're on TikTok, because I'm monetized on TikTok, YouTube. If you get like 100 million views, man, you're looking at millions of dollars.
How long does that? How long do you think this would be able to? He'll be able to keep this fire burning.
He's probably got about a year.
Okay.
I think unless he comes up with, something else, he's got to keep.
So many people that want to interview him for free.
Yeah. So I mean, but he doesn't seem like I've watched some interviews with him because it's intriguing to me.
Is this his first thing? Like, was he around before this?
He's been doing music for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's more of a worker. He literally lives on, 90 acres?
90 acres, like a trailer.
Yeah, 27-foot trailer he bought off of eBay for like $700 or something.
He got injured, I think, working for UPS or something. He fell off a ladder or something.
So he basically lives off grid, man, and he just happened to record the song, and people they're just glommed to it right now.
Left and right.
We need that. Yeah.
It's mainstream left that's going the queue.
Well, that's the problem.
You watch the internet like Russell Brand, Jimmy Dore. They
want us so divided. If you take somebody who's in the middle on both, because I don't like really dealing with anybody who's on the far right. I don't like dealing with anybody who's on the far left because I think they're both radical and it's ridiculous. All issues aren't black and white. They're gray, and we need to be somewhere in the middle, The left has some good policies, the right has them as well. So, and somebody said to me, they're like, it feels to me like the biggest thing between, the left and the right is the left is trying to accelerate too fast into the future. The right is trying to slow. They're not going fast enough, right? They want to stay kind of back here. They don't want to progress, but the left wants to go all the way. And you got to find somewhere in the middle. And
it almost seems like the right wants to progress just at a slower rate.
Slower rate. Yeah,
but they still want to get to the same goal
slow,
sometimes.
And Jordan Peterson one time talked about this idea that you have to have both as a counterbalance to each other.
Yeah.
And when things are working, to your point, the left goes, hey, we found this new cool thing we want to do. And the right goes, can we test that? Can we make sure that's cool? And that's how there's a healthy debate, and that we're not labeling everybody Nazis and fascists and communists and whatever label. I've been in conversations lately where people get mad at me like, Bert, we don't want to put a label on you. I'm like, good. I don't want to be labelable. I don't want my views to be so white. Yeah,
you shouldn't line up with a party like that. Your views should kind of be all, because you have unique life experiences that should change certain views. You shouldn't just be listening to somebody and saying, I'm just going to agree with him down the line.
Yeah, well, blindly, nobody. Yeah. It's amazing to me that we have these, which it gives you access to any information in the entire world. But nobody takes the time to look into anything. We take everything at face value, and we listen to people. And if you do a little bit of research, you can make your own opinion. Nobody wants that. So.
No. You ready to about wrap it up?
Yeah, start wrapping it up. I was going to say, I think we got basically everything. Is there anything you want to talk about here?
No, unless there's anything else you guys want to ask. But I'm going to be in Harris, Michigan on September 16th and 17th. I'll be working with Josh Wolf and damn it, can you cut that out?
We can cut it.
I'll be working with Josh Wolf and John Caparulo. I forgot his name. And then I'm doing another show on Sunday. But other than that, man, what I'm trying to do as far as my comedy I'm working on right now is there's no truck driving comedian who literally drives a truck, does comedy. So I want to go that route. Like I said, I like the working man. That's what I am. I work hard every day, 14 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, So that's what I'm going to try to brand myself. We're going to go across the country. We're going to meet people. If you want to hear genuine stories, just a good time, man. So find me, Bubba Bradley. I'm on TikTok, all the fun stuff.
I was going to say, if they want to find you on social media.
Yeah, just Bubba Bradley, man. It'll pop up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And we all saw the show last night, and I recommend taking the drive from the Pittsburgh airport out
to do another show around here.
Yeah, well, me and Rocky were talking what I'd like to do because we toured together for years and years. I'm like, why don't we go headline a show? Let's do it. And he's like, yeah, I'd like that. So maybe December or something like
he gets back around Christmas time, right?
So maybe sometime around there. Well, we'll see. I'd like that.
Pagliacci Comedy Club every Saturday.
Yeah. Bubba and Rocky ride again.
So.
Yep. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it'd be fun. But yeah, no, that's about it, man. I want to be true. I just want to be true to myself. I want to be real as I can be, and just kind of go from there. Because most comics, they've never worked a hard day in their life. You know, why go see somebody, especially when they're talking about like, oh, I'm country or I'm this or I'm that. It's like, you're a fake. You know,
exactly.
So with me, you get what you get. If I say what I'm saying, you get what you get. I'm Bubba, and that's it, man. So I think that to me is more genuine. I like that. So,
just to annoy Craig, do you want to take any hardline stances on Ukraine or Hunter Biden?
Okay, well,
and we're done.